Hello and namaste. My name is Tim Halloran and this is a weekly astrology video for Friday, November 15th, 2013. And I apologize, the video is getting out late this week. The Mercury station early this week absolutely obliterated my mind. And then yesterday I got an amazing ancient healing massage technique done by Simone Dodds, and I'm going to include her email and the information below because that was incredible and mind-opening and mind-gourd-shattering. But yeah, I'm here now, and I hope that you've had a great week. I hope that you're hanging in there. It's still highly transformative times. So let's look at the astrology. The moon entered Taurus early this morning, and she's going to stay in Taurus through Sunday, where there will be a full moon in Taurus before she moves into Gemini later that evening. We've got Venus conjunct Pluto exact today, square to Uranus. Venus is absolutely demanding our attention right now, and so I really want to focus on Venus, what she's saying with these aspects and with this full moon. Okay, so she's conjunct Pluto right now and square to Uranus, and this is, and she's in Capricorn. This is serious. She's demanding our attention. She's saying, I'm not gonna go away. This is important, this is relevant, you need to pay attention to me. And this has a lot to do with the recovering of the divine feminine, the restoring of our understanding of her principle, what she embodies, what she represents as a part of ourselves. But yeah, conjunct Pluto, she's going into the underworld. We are confronting and dealing with deep root karmic desires right now, and this is what she's really pointing out to us right now. And what she's saying in a square to Uranus is she's demanding liberation, and it's like she's saying to us, you have been ignoring some of your feminine desires. You've been suppressing, and I'm not going to deal with it anymore. You can't deal with it anymore. When we suppress any of our desires, and I don't really believe that you can just do your yoga, do your meditation, do your mantras, and just eliminate your core Pluto underworld karmic desires. It's really not that simple. In fact, when you start meditating and doing yoga and all that stuff, it's possible, especially with old paradigm religion, that we're suppressing these feminine desires, and that means that she's not being liberated, she's being repressed. And that's what she's saying. She's like, listen, I haven't gone away, I'm being repressed, I'm beaten up. And the more we have been repressing some of these feminine energies, it starts hurting us. And that's what she's saying. She's sextile to Chiron. She's saying, you have repressed me, and it hurts. It hurts you mentally, it hurts you emotionally, and then yes, it even hurts you physically. When we start repressing and shoving away all this stuff, it starts to hurt us on a physical level even. And man, that was in my face yesterday when I got this massage, because it's like when you get a massage, all this tension releases, and then it's like it's released into your system, into your blood, and for a while you feel very poisoned because you just released all this stuff, and then you get rid of it. But anybody who knows about healing and spiritual healing knows that this process is the same no matter how you do it, whether it be meditation, yoga, chanting, Reiki, whatever it is, there's still this process of releasing, feeling poison, and then getting rid of it. And that's because in order to release something, we move it up to our awareness, and then we move it out of our bodies. And this is talking about, this full moon that's coming up right now in Taurus. Mercury's going to be conjunct the North Node in Scorpio. It's like still moving stuff to our awareness that is serious, important, has emotional depth. It's not simple or clean. It's complicated. It's dark. It's serious. We're dealing with real desires. Like, I can't avoid this anymore. I demand this kind of attention because otherwise I am becoming miserable. I can't hold my spiritual center if I'm not taking care of myself. And this is a full moon in Taurus. Everything has been Scorpio for the last month. Before then it was Libra. We have been dependent on other people. Other people have been in the mix, in the chemical reaction. There's been so much happening in the outer spheres recently that it's like, now we need to discover and get into our spiritual core, our own truth, our own security. That way, on the outside, we may still be in the frying pan, we may still be super busy and dealing with all these complicated issues and all that, but internally, we are in our own safe place, our own safe haven. And this is what Taurus at the higher octaves really represents. So full moon in Taurus, Taurus gets a reputation for I, me, mine, selfishness, I'm a hoarder, I'm going to collect all these things. But Taurus is really ruled by Venus. Yes, it rules the five senses. It's a very sensual sign. Taurian people like to enjoy good music, wine, a little dancing and all that. But this is the real point. Is that actually selfish? Is it selfish for us to enjoy life? And the higher octaves of Taurus and this Venus, which is demanding our attention right now, is saying, no, it's not selfish to pay attention to me. It's not selfish to be sensual. It's not selfish to enjoy the senses. It's not selfish to embody your feminine nature. And it does have to do with sensuality and sex, with Pluto square to Uranus. Oh yeah, this is like kinky. This is out there. This is weird. But the whole thing is like, should we not be allowed to embody these aspects of ourselves? And what I really also see this aspect being is like Burning Man, And this is Venus at her weirdest, most far out, most unique, most eccentric, most flavorful. But this is the whole thing. This is what she's telling us. She's saying, like, look what you could be doing. Like, Burning Man is like way ahead of its time, from the art people are making to just the way people treat each other, the freedom. It's freedom. It's about freedom of expression. That's really what she's asking us right now. And I do see this time as being more difficult on men than women in a sort of stereotypical over general way, because men have all repressed their feminine. Men are not allowed to act feminine in this culture, in this age, and we've all done it. We've all shut it away. We've all shut down our emotions and some of our sensual nature as men, because men aren't allowed to be soft. Men have to be hard. Men have to work. And it's like, that's why this masculine energy is so hard and brittle and uncaring, because it's just like bitter. All us men are very bitter right now. And the reason we're bitter, the reason we have all this subconscious anger and resentment towards the world, even towards women, is because we're repressing our own woman nature in ourselves, because we believe on really deep levels that we're not allowed to express this, we're not allowed to embody this, we're not allowed to be soft and feminine and enjoy and be sensual and get into our bodies. There is a certain understanding that we're coming to now, and it's that we are allowed to enjoy this creation, this body. We're allowed to enjoy sex, we're allowed to enjoy food, but it's not selfish enjoyment. Why is that? Because we share our enjoyment. So there's this understanding that each of us, being made in the image of God, coming down to this earth, what is this earth in its highest vibration? Earth is the Garden of Eden. What were Adam and Eve doing? They were enjoying all the fruits and flavors that were at the disposal, that were available to them. They were enjoying it. Why? Why do we get to enjoy this? We are enjoying this not just for ourselves. We are allowed to enjoy our senses and our bodies for spirit. Indeed, each of us as individual jivas, unique spirit souls, being part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, is we are like library cards. And if we learn to become servants and surrender to that higher force uses us as an instrument, as a vehicle, and spirit enjoys through us. God tastes, he smells, he has all the same senses and more, and he enjoys those senses through us. So if we repress our own core desires, we are not actually really completing our spiritual journey either. Because it's up and down. We have to descend into our bodies, we have to get into our feelings, our emotions, and allow ourselves to experience these things sincerely. No more repressing our core desires, you know? And then being bitter and angry and blowing up later anyways, because the truth is you can't be in your spiritual center if you're repressing your feminine energy. Okay, so everything's moving through Scorpio. We have this really Scorpio Venus right now. She's demanding our attentions. Everything is still on the feminine. Everything is still about the dark, inconceivable, irrational, what is felt, what is experienced through the senses, what is experienced through the emotions is not the same as masculine understanding. You have to allow yourself to experience these bodily sensations too, to be completely in touch with your whole being. But Scorpio at the end of the day is mastery. We've been moving through all this Scorpio stuff. We've been in the frying pan. We've been shedding all these skins incessantly, and we're coming out new. But the real point of this is we hold our spiritual selves, our own security inwardly. So Taurus on the lower octaves is I, me, mine. I need to collect material goods. I need food, you know. I need to keep all this for myself, for my own security. You know, this is how I can survive the hells and complications of this world. But higher octave, Taurus is the Garden of Eden is within you. The Garden of Eden is the heart chakra. We need to focus on ourselves sometimes. We need to get our own stuff in order. And that is not selfish if we are focusing on ourselves, bringing us into our true inner security. Because when we are in that true inner security, that inner stability, we can't be shaken. And then we can perform selfless service. Not before you get through your desires, not before you take time for yourself. After you move through all that stuff, then you can perform your selfless service. So we're purging, we're releasing all the poisons, we're becoming aware of our desires, our core desires. We're embracing these desires. We shouldn't be afraid to be eccentric. We shouldn't be afraid to act feminine, even if we're men. Venus demands it. She's saying, you've repressed me for too long. Guess what? You're in serious pain. You are not even aware of it right now, but the more you keep repressing me, you're actually in pain. Focus on yourself. Relieve your own pain. Get in touch with these desires. You know, take time for yourself. Taurus is time by yourself. You know, it's kind of like a hermit. Allow yourself to get secure in your being, internally. That's what all this Scorpio is actually about. We're in the frying pan on the outside, but it does not matter what hell realm, what crazy scenario is happening on the outside when we are secure in our garden, in our hearts, internally. So all this crazy transformation and intense dealings and confusion are really moving us very quickly to that space. You know, we're moving out of Scorpio now, moving into Sagittarius. It's a time of getting in touch with our core inner truth, with real wisdom, with real understanding. That's not shakeable, that does not change. And then we will not have all these insecurity issues that have been being brought to our attention so much during these days. So, happy full moon this Sunday, and I'll be in touch with you next week, hopefully a little bit earlier. Much love, all the best. Namaste.